Hope. Hope in the face of difficulty. Hope in the face of uncertainty. The audacity of hope. In the end, that is God's greatest gift to us, the bedrock of this nation. A belief in things not seen. A belief that there are better days ahead.
We as citizens of the United States share a common hope, a belief in a prosperous today and an even stronger tomorrow. It is that same hope and a stronger future ahead that drove our founding fathers to lay down the foundation of our union.
The Ninth Amendment, so unrecognized in our society today, serves as the direct foundation of their aspirations. It guarantees an unenumeration within citizens' rights not yet put forward, in order to ensure that we as American citizens share the opportunity to create profound change.
It is that promise that sets America apart, a government retained by the people and reliant upon its people's hopes.
If it's not enumerated, how do we know if it belongs to the people?
The people in this country are sovereign. As Lincoln said, it's a government by the people, for the people. So the people are sovereign.
It's important for people to have hope, and hope that their government will do the right thing, their elected representatives will, their courts will. If they feel like that hasn't happened, they need to believe that they can go to someone in government and fix the wrong. And if they find themselves blocked, then they need to believe that they can gather with like-minded citizens and change the law. The Ninth Amendment, I believe, is the best tool to use to find any such rights if they are to exist.
The Ninth Amendment, as we read, says that the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights, the fact that we've listed some rights, shall not be construed, shouldn't be interpreted to deny or disparage others retained by the people. In other words, just because we listed some rights doesn't mean we're saying that other rights don't exist. So the preamble reflects this idea that sovereignty is retained by we the people. And the Ninth Amendment expresses this similar idea that's equally profound and important to the idea of what America is. It's that rights are retained by the people. Whether they're listed in the Constitution or not, these rights are retained by the people. We keep these rights with us. And I think that's an idea that's core to the American experience.
The Ninth Amendment was included because the founders knew that they could not enumerate every single right that belonged to human beings and human nature in the Bill of Rights. And so they included the Ninth Amendment as a catch-all to later define other inalienable rights.
The Ninth Amendment stands as the embodiment of our American democracy.
It assures that rights are retained by the people, that as citizens we can continue to fight, mobilize, and voice our views for the rights that have not yet been granted.
Many of the issues that our nation faces today, such as healthcare reform and LGBT rights, are examples of progressive changes in quest of gaining rights that may not be directly enumerated. That promise enables our vast hope in America, that changes in our society come as a direct result of the actions that everyday citizens take.
Changes in our political process. That will only happen when the American people demand it. It depends on you. That's what's meant by a government of, by and for the people.
Our country, when it began, had a concept of democracy that only applied to a small minority, to white male property owners. Over time, that conception of what it means to be a citizen has expanded. We saw movements like the suffragette movement in the first part of the last century to give women the right to vote and participate in politics. Later, the civil rights movement in the second half of the last century. There's similar movements going on today. So as our concept of citizenship has expanded, it's precisely because citizens have been engaged.
Citizens' hopes are, in many ways, the fuel for our government. Citizen ideas, citizen concern, citizen inspiration, citizen challenges are what sets the agenda for our policy movement.
When we're not being inclusive or we're not looking out for their future, they, time after time, young people have really stepped up and showed us that and have become the voice, the voice of a generation or the voice of a movement to really shift sort of the political dynamic.
The more civic engagement we have, the more representative of an American government we have and the better country that we have.
So after all, how does the Ninth Amendment promote the true principles of democracy in America?
In order for us to learn more about what makes America's democracy so unique, I have scheduled an interview with Dr. Whitehead of the Political Sciences Department nearby at California State University, Long Beach.
The Ninth Amendment actually gives citizens the primary place to actually think about those rights that are protected, that are not listed in the Constitution, and to actually protect them, to take action within the existing political framework in order to protect rights that their representatives may not even be thinking of. I think everyone agreed with the sentiment expressed by the Ninth Amendment, which was that the rights that are protected in the document are limited, and that there are a number of others, a wealth of other rights that are not actually protected in the document.
The true essence of America lies in the assurance of a government of, by, and for the people.
As Americans, we have the chance to determine the fate of our current generation's issues, while also being able to create a more prosperous union for the generations ahead.
And that is the promise of America.
It is our fundamental belief in the power of hope that has allowed us to rise above the voices of doubt and division, of anger and fear that we have faced in our own lives and in the life of this country. Our hope that if we work hard enough and believe in ourselves, then we can be whatever we dream.
When you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, stand up and say something, do something.